I gotta do that real quick. 1 second here. Okay, that's a jam going. Peace, 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 peace. I hope you're doing well out there. Yeah, we'll go with the good old holy breath. You feel me? Oopsies. Be right back. I was born on earth, I'm not from here. I am from the stars, I'm not talking boulevard, oh no. I am from the most side. Okay. Oh my God. Oh yes we fell. Oh yes we fell. We can make a heaven, you know why. We made our... Okay. All right. So, before we get started with the lesson, I gotta have a demonstration, and it'll make sense later. Oopsies. My little ones, they got away today. Peace, peace, peace. I'm Rami Salam Mel. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining. My little ones, you guys got away this morning without getting the black seed oil in. And I'm going to demonstrate for myself. And I'll explain later. It all makes sense. One day it all makes sense. Whew, wait, I tell you. My goodness. Get you some black seed oil. It's good for you. It's not the best tasting, but it's good for you. Whew. And also, while I'm at it, not to be promoting like that, but I got this from this Muslim store, Sultana bookstore out here in Berkeley. This is Amazing Herbs Honey Zest Immune Boost. Herbal honey, raw natural honey infused with echinacea, I think, ECHINACEA, elderberry, garlic, eucalyptus extracts, and pure black seed oil. Boom. Get you some of that. Oh, let's see, make sure you get the label right there. All right. That gave folks some chance to come on in. Islam. Peace, peace, peace. King Moab, all is well. We got us a beautiful build today. Come on in. Moorish Americans or not. You know what I mean? If you're from a different nation, come on in. All is welcome today. We are going to be talking about scams, radical Moors, and blocks of wood. What do you mean? I mean, what are you talking about? We're going to get to the blocks of wood at the end. It's all going to make sense for y'all. Didn't know about the blocks of wood. Hey, don't spoil it. Don't spoil it now. But I wanted to speak on this in particular for people that are coming into this information about Moors, quote unquote new Moors or newly awakened Moors. Um, Also for the people that's been in this movement to help uh, refocus, get our attention and make sure that we're focused on what this is supposed to be about. Um, and the other people to just make sure that people on the outside looking in have an understanding of what, you know, true Moorish Americans, true Moors are about. Um, and to do that, I wanted to speak on some issues that I see going on within the Moorish American community, if you will. So let's start off with scams. In this movement, like in many others, in this community, like in many others, um, with our people, as with many others, you have you have some individuals that prey on others. You know what I mean? That particularly prey on those that are naive, that are maybe not fully informed or fully understand what's going on, and they prey on those individuals to take advantage of them. So I want to get some warning signs out there if you're coming into this movement, or if you've already been in this movement and you're a part of something and you've been having, this kind of feeling in your gut, like this doesn't feel right. I just wanted to put some things out there. If there's anybody that's offering some sort of nationality package, you know what I mean, or telling you, selling you some nationality package, you pay $800 and it comes with all of these nationality items and packages that, get you set to go as a Moorish American, and 1,500 package deals, $500, $200 package deals. That's a red flag. That's a warning. Be careful. Um, if you see any Moorish individuals, any Moorish American individuals talking about they can get you out of paying taxes, they have a package and they have paperwork and documents that you can fill out and it'll get you out of paying taxes. Warning, danger, be very careful. That's highly likely to be a scam. I don't want to say for sure because I don't know. I'm just saying warning. If you hear these things, it should be a red flag that goes up and it should be a warning. And let me clarify, because Noble Drew Ali never taught, and this Moorish Divine and National Movement, Moorish Americans were never about trying to get out of paying taxes. It was never some package that you had to buy to get your nationality or to become a Moorish American. It wasn't some you pay $200 back when Noble Drew Ali was alive. It's not supposed to be that today. If you see Moorish individuals claiming they have paperwork or some documents that can help you claim some house for free, and you can somehow own some house for free, warning sign, danger, red flag. That's not proper. That's a scam. That is not the way true Moorish Americans are supposed to do things. That's not how Noble Drew Ali taught us to do things. That's not how Noble Drew Ali did things. And we'll get to, I'll get to what he says specifically in a little bit. But I just want to get these out here. So anybody, you see any Moorish individuals, Moorish Americans, Moorish indigenous, any sort of variation, they got Moor in there, American Moor, indigenous Moor, a Mexican Moor, Moroccan, Al Moroccan Moor, any sort of, it's many ways that people try to twist this thing, but they got more in it, and they're speaking about some sort of paperwork to own a house for free, and you can just claim this house because you're indigenous and it's your land. Scam, danger. That's not cool. Don't do that. That's not what true Moorish Americans are about. Peace. I appreciate the comment, More L. I don't know Elia. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce your name, but I appreciate that comment. We'll get to that in a moment. It's very. Allah is truly the best of planners, I tell you. Let me continue. Um, if you see any Moorish individuals that are telling you they can get your charges dismissed, they can, if you got any criminal charges, they can get you out of jail, with this document and these legal paperwork. And all you have to do is, put this documents in and challenge the jurisdiction because you're Moor and they don't have a right over you, and you don't have to. You're not subject to their laws. If you hear that, danger, red flag. Danger, red flag. Be very careful. Especially if they're trying to sell you these documents and say, hey, if you just buy this is all you got to do, fill in your name here and there and submit these documents. Danger, be careful. And that aspect, and there's that aspect is just more so, I want to say, dealing with the monetary aspect of things. You know what I mean? People selling things to you. People saying, hey, you buy into this membership or this club and you'll get these documents for free. Or you join our organization and become a member and we have these documents for all our members. Anything like that, be very careful. Don't give these people your money because your nationality is free. People all over the world, you don't buy your nationality. There's no package to buy to become Chinese. There's no package to buy to become Brazilian. There's no package to buy to become another country. You get what I'm saying, though. Likewise, there's no package that you buy to become Moorish American. Our nationality, our identity is who we are. You don't have to buy that or purchase that from somebody to be yourself. And along with the other different sort of scams that I was speaking about. Now I want to get to the subject of radical Moors. And it's amazing that this brother Moor L made the comment, "You late. Canaan Land Moors already did a class on this." Powerful. So let me first, just so we can get the context, okay? Just so we can set the context. This is something that was from Noble Drew Ali. It's supposed to be read in every meeting. I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical speeches while at work, in their homes, or on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. I'm gonna read those two sentences one more time just to make sure that we get the context, because when I go into the references, and you can see them in the description, if you're watching this after the live, you can see in the descriptions I listed all of the references that I'm about to get into of examples of people identifying as Moors and being associated with radical actions. Okay? I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical speeches while at work, in their homes, or on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. This is from something that's titled, "Prophet Warns All Muslims to be read in every meeting." In every meeting. So it's very clear we're not supposed to be radical. Not in our speech, not at work, not out in the streets, and not at home. Not even, so if you have people that are saying, oh, public and private, not even in private are you supposed to be radical in your speech. And if the prophet is saying you're not supposed to be radical in your speech, let alone be radical in your actions. We are for peace and not destruction. So now let's get to the statement late Canaanland Moors already did a class on this. For those that are aware, you're aware. But for those that are not aware, the individual that runs that YouTube channel and operates in Canada, Cujo IYL, has very radical speech consistently for the past decade. You don't have to take my word for it. You can simply go click any random video of his and you will hear the radical speech. I don't even care to get into quoting all of the radical speech. But I do want to put this on the record. And this is very important as it goes to Moors, especially newly awakened Moors, people that are just coming into this information, especially for people that are on the outside looking in and are trying to get an understanding. It's very important to understand who these people are, look into the background of people, and then see the fruits of their labor. See what is transpired from this individual's actions. Now let's get to some examples of radical Moors. This is an article from the Toronto Star. Malnourished child's mother gets bail. The mother of a severely malnourished 9-month-old baby was arrested during a standoff at the hospital for sick children after refusing treatment for her child, who was in court today for a bail hearing. And just for context, this article is from September 15th, 2008. Okay? Upon entering the College Park courtroom, the 22-year-old woman dressed in sweats smiled when a friend yelled out, "Bless love." Here we go here. "It's not like she neglected the baby for 9 months, said Cujo Adwell Sut Tek El, the Grand Sheikh of the Moor Science Temple of America, one of the various supporters present. He said that the mothers," further down it reads, he said that contrary to the media reports, the group does not oppose treatment in hospitals, but prefers homeopathic medicine. He said that the baby's mother originally fled from the hospital, refusing treatment because she feared her son would be taken from her. I want to clarify something. Her 9-month-old baby weighed 11 pounds. And Cujo Adwa Sutek El claimed that the mother was not neglecting the baby for 9 months and that she fled because she feared the doctors would take the baby from her. If you have a child, anybody that has a child can understand that a baby that weighs 11 pounds at 9 months, that is a severely malnourished baby and needs medical treatment immediately. Radical speech, we're not supposed to do. Understand who you're learning from. Understand who these people, look into the history of these people. I tried to figure out what happened with this mother. I don't know. Further down in the article, it says they're making it seem like she's some negligent baby mother running away from her duties, and that's not the case, said the Grand Sheik, supposed Grand Sheik. I'll read another article. Jailed woman rejects U.S. authority, cites Moorish Science Temple. This is from December 15th, 2012. The woman in orange and white striped scrubs started to cry, "I've been kidnapped. I don't belong here." The woman insists she is Zuri Akila Batita Matawala Zurj Bey, a grand sheikess in the Moorish Temple of Science of the World. She operates a branch of the temple in her Spring Hill home. Remember, no radical speeches in the home. She arrived from Columbia, South Carolina over the summer to tell other quote unquote black people that they are not really U.S. citizens or subject to its government. When you belong to another government, you're not subject to someone else's rules and laws, she said. I want to make it clear. If you hear people acting or you see people acting in this manner, saying that you are not subject to any laws because you're Moorish or you have roots to Morocco or your ancestral roots in Morocco, please understand that is radical speech. That's radical action. That is not what true Moorish Americans are about. That's not what Noble Drew Ali taught. That's not what this Moorish American movement is about. And let me just put it on the record just so we can understand what it is about. And this is a statement from Noble Drew Ali. It's entitled "The Moorish Science Temple of America," just so that you understand what this is about. We of the Moorish Science Temple of America, like countless other American citizens, know that we must live together here in America in harmony, friendship, and goodwill, whatever our race and creed may be. It is only from a purely religious standpoint, it seems at this time, that we differ from a large number of our fellow Americans. Fellow Americans. We believe in and foster the Muslim religion. We believe in the principles of its teachings insofar as they can be adopted to American life. We feel that the Christian religion is all right for those who prefer it. In America, religious freedom is guaranteed all under the Constitution. We are interested in freeing ourselves and our children from the greatest plight, economic slavery. We believe this can be done best by encouraging, patronizing, and establishing our own business enterprises. Enterprises. There it goes. Our own business enterprises and cultivating our own acres of land. We welcome into our folds the men and women of our group of all sections, all trades, occupations, and professions of sound mind and good character. We are friends and servants of humanity. We are dedicated to the purpose of elevating the moral, social, and economic status of our people. Nowhere in there did it talk about us not being subject to laws and we're not subject to the laws of the government, that we need to be radically opposed to the government. It says that our fellow Americans, we're supposed to be in harmony with our fellow Americans. That is only from a purely religious standpoint, and it's as it seems at this time, do we differ from a large number of our fellow Americans. So when you hear people, when you see people acting radically opposed to the United States of America, opposed to this American government, understand they are going against the teachings of Noble Drew Ali. They're going against what this movement is about. They're going against what true Moorish Americans are about. And please understand it and separate those people and distinguish those as that. And for those that are looking into this and want to know more, understand if they're teaching that, they're teaching you in the wrong direction. Don't follow them. Please don't. That's not the way. Listen to what Noble Drew Ali said. And also, Well, I'll get to that in a second. Um, so that was that other art. The one article I was reading was the jail woman, and the reason why she was jailed. Let me just why she was in jail. Let me read it for you. Um, if anyone understands, okay, gotcha. If anyone misunderstands, authority says it's Shanita Marie Burden. Shanita Marie Burden is the name of the woman, the given name of the woman, Zuri Akila Matawala Zurish Bay. Um, the name of the jailed woman's South Carolina's driver's license, which was suspended 4 times when she failed to pay traffic tickets. That's also the name of her silver Dodge minivan, was registered in when it was bought from a Brooksville dealer. Deputies found the paperwork September 27th when they stopped the driver with a suspicious car tag heading on North US 41. Moorish American Republic 070117004 it said. The driver handed the sheriff what she said was her driver's license, a piece of paper with a fuzzy photo from the Moorish Divine National Movement of the World issued to Zuri Bay. So, an example of someone driving without proper registration, proper license, got arrested, then was claiming that she was kidnapped, and that, let me just quote it to be exact, when you belong to another government, you're not subject to someone else's rules and laws, she said, which is incorrect. Please do not follow those examples when you see, let me just keep it all the way real. Going to jail, fighting the police, going to court, trying to drive without a license, that don't make you real, that don't make you a Moor, that don't make you a true Moorish American, that don't make you down with the movement. It's just endangering you and your family, it's putting you in harm's way, it's putting you in jail, possibly prison, fines, all of that. It's not worth it. It's not what this movement is about. Nowhere did Noble Drew Ali ever teach that. Another example. Refusal to show driver's license results in obstruction charge. This is from December 19th, 2015. Okay, so the malnourished baby who fled from the hospital, and I didn't mention, but in the article it explains that they went into hiding for 4 to 5 days. Her and her husband, her and the child's father went into hiding for 5 days, avoiding the police because they were trying to get the baby medical treatment. The case with the sister that got arrested without the driver's license, that happened in 2012. This article is from 2015, just so you can see a timeline that this has been happening. And this is not proper. This is not what we're supposed to be about. This is not what Moorish Americans are supposed to be about, just making this clear. It says a judge found probable cause to prosecute a man who claims to be an Asiatic Moor American, among other things, on a felony charge of obstructing. Just after state trooper testified, the defendant refused to show him a driver's license on the basis that doing so would violate his constitutional rights. Nguyen also identifies himself as American, Al-Moroccan, Aboriginal, Indigenous American, and Asiatic Moor American natural person with autonomy. This is that radical speech and the radical action that we're not supposed to be about. Noble Drew Ali never taught none of this. We're Moorish Americans, simple. None of this extra stuff. Never taught that we need to be traveling and driving without a license and without registration and saying we're not subject to the laws. None of that. You won't find that anywhere in nothing that Noble Drew Ali taught. Anybody that's teaching that or that's doing that in action, they're being radical. And I'm telling you, I'm warning you, pleading with you, Moors. Don't follow the actions. Don't support the actions. Don't promote that as something that we're supposed to be about. And if you're not a Moorish American, if you're not a Moor and you're seeing that, understand they're doing something that's against what we're about. Please don't lump them in with true Moorish Americans. Yeah, he refused to provide a driver's license, and and then the state trooper obtained a worker's identification badge from the car and identified the defendant by his given name. I don't want to get into it. It's just more of the same of refusing to show driving without a license. But let's get into this one as well. This is current. New homeowner claims sovereign citizens group moved into her house, 6/21/2021. Sister, Shanita Little, 37, says that a group of men broke into her newly purchased New Jersey home and claimed the property as their ancestral home. My goodness, 1 second. And she did all of this in a video, and in the video she explains that men broke into her Newark home when she wasn't there on June 18th, sawed off the locks and changed them. She noticed the break-in, and when she arrived at her home one afternoon to have the gas lines fixed and discovered her keys didn't work. She called the police. While waiting for the police to arrive, she asked the neighbors if they witnessed anything, and that's when she made the alarming discovery. Oh my god! And they had this paperwork. She basically told me she noticed two men that were there and they were sawing off the lock. They told my neighbor they were going to be her new neighbors. Obviously, that freaks me out. Little says she received 2 legal notices claiming her home was being claimed by someone with connections to the Moorish sovereign citizens. Jesus Christ. Here we go. And this again. When confronted by responding officers, Little said the man occupying her house claimed to be a Moorish sovereign citizen, saying he was not subject to local or federal law. Eventually, he was removed from the property, arrested, and locks were changed shortly after. Again, radical actions. If you see anybody talking about teaching or acting in that way, trying to claim houses their own, saying it's their ancestral home, or they're taking it back because they're indigenous, or that we have rights because this is our land, understand that's radical actions, that's radical speech. Do not follow that example. Do not co-sign that. Don't try that yourself. That's not what Moorish Americans are about. We're supposed to be working and patronizing and building and what Noble Ali said, owning our own acres of land. Cultivating our own acres of land, not sawing off the locks of somebody else's house and running up in there and sending them papers saying that it's your house now. That's crazy, man. Jesus. And last one, man. Another example. And this is from June 25th. A group of 4 men. Oh no, this is the same article. Is this the same article? I'm not sure this. I think it's a different one. No, it might be the same article. But I just read it real quick. A group of 4 men said they were sovereign citizens of the Al Moroccan Empire, took ownership of a New Jersey home, claimed the property was rightfully theirs given their status. Um, Hubert John was arrested June 17th and charged with criminal mischief, burglary, criminal trespass, and terroristic threats after he allegedly took over a vacant Newark, New Jersey home with 3 other men. Um, I think this may have been the same. This is the same article. I mean, the same story rather. Jesus Christ, man. Yeah. Just examples. Oh man, thank you for. I appreciate that comment, Noble Nuth Atum. We'll get to that in a second. Um, but just another, just examples. You see Moorish Americans, if you see people claiming to be Moors talking about squatting or taking over houses or claiming houses as their own, with some legal documents or going in there and saying it's because you're ancestral right, because you're indigenous, because you're Moorish, because it's our land, any sort of variation of that, understand that that's radical. That's not what we're supposed to be about. Don't follow that example. Noble Drew Ali never taught that. That's not what Moorish Americans is supposed to be about. We're supposed to be doing for self, working, buying, patronizing our own businesses, getting and cultivating our own acres of land. The right way, the American way. You feel me? Not this nonsense that you may have seen on these social media and on the internet and some of these people that you see out here doing these radical things. I mean, we're all very familiar with the rise of the Moors militia group and their radical actions. Another example. None of those things are true, real representations of what Moorish Americans are supposed to be about. That's not what this movement is supposed to be about. And it's a problem that that's the perception that many people have of Moors, is that we're squatting in houses, that we're trying to evade paying taxes, or that we're trying to drive without having a license or registration. And now that we're trying to transport and bear arms and weapons and guns without having any registration for those. That's not the representation we're supposed to be, that people are supposed to see. It's not how people are supposed to view us. It's not how we're supposed to represent ourselves, our nation, our community at all. And we have to. That's not on nobody else. That's on us. Ain't nobody else. It's on us to check ourselves and to hold ourselves accountable. What was the last thing? Oh, blocks of wood. Blocks of wood. But before I get to blocks of wood, I'll get to the question. Islam, Tommy, Green Coyote Bay, what did the prophet do to be arrested? The prophet didn't do anything to be arrested. If you look into the history, you'll see that there was a shootout when after some Moors tried to take over the movement from Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And then a shootout transpired and some people were killed, and they tried to put the blame on Noble Drew Ali. And just for clarity, Noble Drew Ali didn't say, oh, I'm not subject to the government. He didn't say, oh, you don't have no jurisdiction over me. Did he? So then why do you see Moors doing that now? Think about that, Green Coyote. I appreciate the question, though. Noble Nuth Atum Shavek L. So being a Moorish American is to be like you, huh? That feels like some sarcasm. I'll do my best to interpret or understand that. I'm not saying that I am the perfect representation. I've never said I'm the perfect representation of being a Moorish American. If you have that perception of me, I appreciate it, but that's incorrect to even have that perception of me. What I've always said, if you look back and you see it been consistent, Noble Drew Ali. Follow Noble Drew Ali. Why though? Because he is a prophet who I consider, who I believe, who I have faith in based on the research that I've done and all the studying and the studying and the reading I've done. He's a true and divine prophet sent by our Creator, whether you call him God, Allah, the Most High, etc. So I choose to follow his teachings because I believe he was truly sent here by our Creator. And he is the best representation of a Moorish American. So I would say, Noble Nuth, you should be like Noble Drew Ali, who wasn't radical. You feel me? Who was about love instead of hate, peace and not destruction. You feel me? Blocks of wood, as I close out, blocks of wood. That is coming from, that reference, if you didn't know, is coming from the Quran Circle 7 that Noble Drew Ali prepared for us, specifically for so-called black people, so-called Negroes, African Americans, Moorish Americans is our proper name, but also for all people, because he's a universal prophet, divine prophet, came for all humanity, for all nations, and people of all lands. But I wanted to highlight this because it's very important, especially as it relates to this, our movement, as it relates to newly awakened Moors, to people that are just kind of coming into this information, to understand and how to have discernment, how to understand and know who's being true and who's being sincere and authentic and real, and who's being phony, you know what I mean? Who's selling you wolf tickets, who's capping, you know what I mean? There's a lot of big capping going on. And the line about the block of wood comes from chapter 4. And it says, the man who stands upon the corners of the paths and points the way but does not go is just a pointer, and a block of wood can do the same. The teacher treads the way, and on every span of ground he leaves his footprints clearly cut, which all can see and be assured that he, their master, went that way. The man who stands upon the corners of the paths and points the way but does not go is just a pointer, and a block of wood can do the same. The teacher treads the way on every span of ground he leaves his footprints clearly cut, which all can see and be assured that he, their master teacher, went that way. What do I mean by, blocks of wood? It's too many people that I've seen and I've witnessed that are saying they're Moorish Americans and pointing and telling people, we supposed to do this, y'all supposed to do that, and if you just do that, then da-da-da-da-da. But they not doing it. They talking the talk, but they not walking the walk. They claiming that they have this mastery of law and they are so well studied the law, but they don't manifest it in real life. They don't show and prove. They claim they know about this law and how to own this land because we're Moors and all you got to do is do this and do that and the third. But where is their land? Where is the proof? Where is the evidence? There's too many people that are blocks of wood just pointing the way. The teacher treads the way, and on every span of ground he leaves his footprints clearly cut, which all can see and be assured their master went that way. So this is about, that last part is about the people that claim to be teachers. They claim to be these master teachers. They claim to be, so well studied in more science. And they put so much time and they're this qualified and that. You should be able to see their journey. Shouldn't be some mysterious gaps and you don't know where they came from and you don't know their background and what they've been through and you can't see with actual tangible evidence what they've been doing. Be careful who you follow. Be careful who you are learning from. Be careful of studying from these so-called master teachers. Don't let these people put batteries in your back and have you go and doing something and get you arrested. Get you sent to jail and in prison. Don't have these people radicalize you and have you doing extremist type things. That's not what this movement is about. If you want to follow somebody, if you want an example of how to be, Noble Drew Ali is who you should look to. And I'm going to drop this link in there again, and I put it in the description under Noble Drew Ali's sources. But boom, check that Moorish literature where I was reading from. This not the more religious aspect of things. You know what I mean? He has some statements about business, Moorish leaders, historical message to America. Let me read this as I close out. so we can get some clarity. In connection with our religious aims and beliefs, we must promote economic security. The preaching of economic security among us is by no means as widespread and intensive as the circumstances demand. No other one thing is more needed among us at this time than greater economic power, better positions for our men and women, more business employment for our boys and girls, employment as in jobs. Moorish leaders, Moorish teachers, they should have a job. They shouldn't be, their whole source of income shouldn't be trying to teach you this information and selling you books and selling you packages and memberships and donations. Better positions for our men and women, more business employment for our boys and girls, and bigger incomes will follow our economic security. We shall be secure in nothing until we have economic power. And I just close with this last little piece here. Our men, women, and children should be taught to believe in the capacity of our group to succeed in business, in spite of the trials and failures of some of them. Trials and failures in business are by no means confined to any particular group of people. Some business ventures of all people fail. We have many men and women among our group who are qualified, both by training and experience, who are shining lights in the business world of all the people. It is a sad weakness in us as a people that we have withheld the very encouragement, support, and patronage that would have made some of our worthy business ventures a grand success, and worst of all, have joined in the condemnations of them when they fail. So I just read that to just highlight again, this movement isn't some scheming movement. This isn't about getting out of paying taxes. This isn't about trying to squat and take over somebody's property or somebody's home. We're supposed to be working and doing for ourselves, getting a job. You know what I mean? Let's keep it real. For me, I've been working. I've been having a job since 15 and a half. As soon as I get a work permit, I had an internship. Then I was working at the movie theaters. Worked at FedEx and a bunch of other places. Now my goal is to develop a business, a family business, that now I can employ my children so that they can be businessmen and women for themselves. But my point is that I'm not trying to rely on, and that's why you never heard me say, oh, you can send donations to Cash App, da 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 da, such and such. Cash App, Rami, or donate to this, because I'm not doing this for money. This is not what I'm doing to survive. And we should work on developing businesses outside of selling packages and selling memberships, and selling conferences and lectures to people. You know what I'm saying? We need to develop business and employment opportunities for our people, and then patronize, actually support those businesses. But that means we got to show and prove. You can't just talk about it, you got to be about it. And that's a challenge to all the people that's watching. Because this involves everybody. This ain't just a Rami thing. This ain't just what I feel. This coming from Noble Drew Ali. So, my point, man, basically is watch out for the scammers out here. You know what I mean? Because there's more scammers out here. Watch out for the radical Moors, the ones that trying to charge you up and think we need to overthrow the government. They I don't want to say they're crazy, but that's not the correct way. That's not what Moorish Americans are about. Stay away from those kinds of people. They're dangerous to you, your family, to themselves, to our whole entire community. Radical and blocks of wood. Man, we have to stop following and stop we got to stop following and just listening to people who are just pointing the way and just being blocks of wood and telling what everybody else should do, but they not doing it themselves. You know what I mean? And also, aside from the business opportunities and aside from all of that kind of stuff, the principles. You know what I mean? If you're claiming to be a Moorish American, you're supposed to be living by 5 principles: love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. You're not supposed to be speaking radically. We're supposed to be about peace and not destruction. So if you're claiming to be a Moorish American, but then you're speaking evil and you're speaking hatred and viciousness towards another group of people, or you're demeaning and you're disrespectful to Christian brothers and sisters, or brothers and sisters who are Christian, or elders and aunties and uncles that love Jesus. If you're talking down about people who love Jesus, you are not being a true Moorish American. You're not representing the principles. You just talking the talk, but you're not walking the walk. Big capping, and we gotta stop that. Yeah, that's really what I had to say. Was there any questions? Any other questions I can answer before I get up out of here? I think I got all the comments so far. I don't see anything else. I'll wait for a second, but I don't see nothing else. Oh, wait a second. Wait a second now. To be proclaimed at every meeting. Okay. Yes, I got that piece. More L. I'm familiar with that section. Was there something about that section that you wanted to ask? If you want to get in touch with me, appreciate that. I didn't even say that. iamhhtemple@gmail.com. You can reach out to me at iamhhtemple@gmail.com. Or you can just hit me in the comment section if you're watching this after it went after the live. Just hit me up in the comment section. I'll be there. Please be respectful if you could. I know there's some people that have some animosity towards me. Just express yourself, but you ain't got to be disrespectful in expressing yourself. Oh, okay. I never hear you read it at any meeting. Okay. Just because you never hear it doesn't mean it hasn't happened. You feel me? And also, I haven't read it at every meeting. But was there something like more to it? I'm just trying to understand. Like, are you saying that I have to read it every meeting, or else? I don't know. Just help me out. You kind of leaving me here while I close out. Tariq Bey, I hope you got the email on that. IAMHHTemple@gmail.com. Maybe I will. Right, mostly I've been focusing on the videos that I've been doing recently have been news updates, and it hasn't really been quote unquote meetings for Moorish Americans per se. Yeah. Thank you, Morel. The prophet said, read it at the meeting. I'll close out with this. The prophet said many things. As you heard, maybe I'll just repeat it again. Maybe you missed that part. Because the prophet warned all Muslims, and he said for this to be read in every meeting also, Morel. Said, I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical speeches. And you mentioned earlier that you're familiar with Canaan Land Moors, who has radical speeches in almost every video. But I'll end on this. I'm not perfect. Don't claim to be perfect. And I will do better at making sure I read things that Noble Drew Ali said to read at every meeting. I appreciate that. Thank you. Oh, man. God, I'm glad you asked me that before I closed out. Praise Allah. Got it, brother. If we get it together and have our own Moorish villages and towns, do you think we should protect it with lawful and responsible use of arms? Think of what happened at Black Wall Street. Praise Allah. Now check it out. Let me find it just so I get the exact... I'm going to just drop the link in there. Hold on one second. Here we go. Hold on one second for me. G. 1 second here. Boom. Thank you for that question, man. Bam. All right, so I'm gonna drop that in the comment section also. But the video I just dropped into the chat is from this brother Peter Santinello. And the video is entitled "Invited to Amish Dinner." Right? And I stumbled onto these videos, and this Peter Santinello, this brother does videos with different communities all over the world, and amazing content, if you will. But these series of videos was focused on this Amish community that I believe was in, dang, I don't even remember where it was at, but it was somewhere in America. I want to say Ohio, possibly. Um, if you watch the video, they'll express it. Anyways, it was an Amish community and also a Mennonite. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Mennonite community. Yeah, Mennonite community. In a large Amish and Mennonite community, and uh, they were expressing how they do not they do not support going to war because their religion, they're taught that they're not to kill, so they could not go to war, and that they function in their community, with their religious beliefs and practices and way of life, if you will, and they are perfectly fine. They do their thing amongst themselves, and they were expressing how during the whole 2020 and 2021, through all the changes, mostly nothing changed for their community because they take care of themselves and they got their whole kind of infrastructure taken care of. And I was just looking with admiration at how they function and thinking to myself, if we as a community followed our principles and followed the laws and the teachings accordingly, we could do that very same thing with no problem. With absolutely no problem. We could have agriculture and businesses and community and be safe and secure. Like if you watch that video, he shows the land he had, amazing, beautiful property. Safe. He like, our community is safe. My children can play out here, no problem. I don't have to worry about nothing out there. And the same can be had for our community if we follow the laws and teachings properly. That's what's beautiful about America. Religious freedom is guaranteed to all. So to get focus is specifically on the idea of protecting ourselves or arms. Noble Drew Ali taught that we do not need arms. We don't need guns of any kind. We are not even to carry a pocket knife. This is what was taught to us. As a community now, as an individual, if you choose to do something differently, that's your choice. But we have to understand as a community, as a people, these are the principles that we stand on. And we can look to, we don't have to look to the Amish brothers and sisters. We can look to our brothers and sisters in the wonderful, amazing nation of Islam. Assalamu alaikum to those good brothers and sisters that are doing amazing works in that organization, and how they do not carry guns, correct? They don't carry weapons, and yet they are very secure. They are very protected, well protected. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My goodness. Boy, I tell you. Okay, so I'm pretty sure it was Amish deep in Ohio. I'm pretty sure it was Ohio that they're speaking about. But check the video out and listen and just pay attention to their community, those beautiful brothers and sisters, and how they have differences within their community. Within the Amish community, they have different, I don't want to say levels, but different aspects or different perspectives within the Amish community itself. No different than the Jewish community or the Chinese community or the Filipino community, or what the Mexican brothers, that all of these different communities. Okay, you may have differences, but there's some principles that they all live by, that they all go by. We got to get right on that level. All right. But I appreciate the questions. And more else. So you said you are going to think about what I said in terms of radical speech, right? I hope that didn't go over your head. I hope you didn't miss that, because that's what Noble Drew Ali spoke on. You feel me? We gotta go by what Noble Drew Ali taught. You feel me? Especially if you're claiming to be a Moorish American, especially if you're claiming to be a leader of a temple. You got to go by the teachings and the laws that Noble Drew Ali laid down. Otherwise, you're going against the teaching. Otherwise, that person would be considered um, a traitor, if you will. Something to think about. And on that note, yeah, I think I'm done for today. Thank you so much. Again, man, watch out for the scams. Moors, people that are learning about Moors, Moorish Americans, watch out for these people scamming, selling you packages, selling you legal documents and paperwork. Watch out for these radical Moors that are doing radical actions, that are speaking radically against the government, against other communities, against other organizations, against other religions. All of that is against the teachings of Noble Drew Ali. All of that is against the principles that true Moorish Americans stand on. And blocks of wood. You know what I mean? Especially for Moors out there, don't be no block of wood, man. You feel me? Don't just be standing around pointing the way, telling what people should be doing and this people should be doing, and you not doing it. Show and prove. Oh, bringing it all the way full circle. The reason why I took the spoonful of black seed oil is to show and prove. So Cam, Kayla, when y'all watch this, showing and proving. I'm not just telling y'all to take that black seed oil. I'm doing the same thing. You know what I mean? You gotta walk the walk if you talking that talk. You feel me? You gotta say what you mean and mean what you say. Can I get Islam out there? Can I get Islam? There we go. Peace. Much love to you. Study Noble Drew Ali, amazing prophet. And respect to our other true and divine prophets out there as well. Study those as well. Let me close with that as we close out. What? Shout out to Moms. Shout out to my mom. She be dropping some jewels on me. And this one here. Let me see here. By the fruits you will know them. By the fruits you will know them. Matthew 7. Man, in Matthew 7, boy, they got some jewels. But 7:15, man. It says, beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravenous wolves. You will know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes from thorn bushes or figs from thistles? Even so, every good tree bears good fruit, but a bad tree bears bad fruit. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit, nor can a bad tree bear good fruit. Every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire. Therefore, by their fruits, you will know them. That's why you got to study, all of the scriptures, all of the true and divine prophets, man. There's wisdom out there to be had, man. Get into them Bibles. Get into that Bible now. You feel me? Get into the Quran, the Bhagavad Gita, the Torah. Get into that, the teachings of Buddha, Confucius Analects. What else am I missing? And get into this Quran Circle 7. You feel me? All right. Much love. Keep shining. Peace.